Did you know that nearly 90% of turbocharger failures are caused by avoidable mistakes? Yep, not a factory defect, not bad luck, just bad habits and neglect. If you own a turbocharged car or are thinking about getting one, you need to hear this. In today's video, I'm breaking down 10 things you should never do in a turbocharged car that many drivers make without even realizing it. Some of these could be slowly destroying your turbo as we speak. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to keep your turbo running strong and avoid expensive breakdowns. Let's dive in. Number 1. Do not use the wrong grade of oil. One of the worst mistakes you can make with a turbocharged engine is using the wrong grade of oil. And trust me, this can ruin your turbo faster than you think. Turbochargers spin at insanely high speeds, sometimes over 200,000 RPM, and generate extreme heat. That means they need proper lubrication to keep the moving parts from grinding against each other. Now, if you're using an oil that's too thick when cold, it won't flow fast enough to protect the turbo during startup. And if it's too thin, it won't provide enough protection when the turbo is running at high temperatures. Most manufacturers recommend full synthetic oil with a specific viscosity rating, like 5W30 or 0W40, depending on your climate. Using conventional oil or the wrong viscosity can lead to oil breakdown, turbo lag, and even premature turbo failure. And let's not forget, turbos get extremely hot, and low-quality oil can cook inside the turbo, leaving carbon deposits that restrict oil flow. So, always check your owner's manual and stick to high-quality, manufacturer-recommended full synthetic oil. Number 2. Do not ignore the blow-off valve or wastegate maintenance. These two components are critical in controlling your turbo's boost pressure and preventing serious damage. The blow-off valve releases excess pressure when you lift off the throttle, stopping boost surge that can damage the turbo. If it's clogged, stuck, or leaking, you'll notice delayed throttle response, turbo flutter, or even loss of boost pressure, which means your car isn't performing like it should. On the other hand, the wastegate controls how much exhaust gas flows into the turbo. If it fails or sticks, you can get dangerous overboost, which might seem fun at first but can lead to detonation, blown head gaskets, or even a destroyed engine. Some common signs of a bad wastegate include inconsistent power, poor fuel economy, and a check engine light related to boost pressure. To avoid these costly issues, regularly inspect and clean your BOV and wastegate, making sure they open and close properly. If you're serious about keeping your turbo in peak condition, this is not something you can afford to ignore. Number 3. Do not install a low-quality air filter or neglect replacing it. If you think an air filter isn't a big deal in a turbocharged car, think again. The turbo works by compressing and forcing air into the engine, but if that air isn't clean, you're basically sandblasting the inside of your turbo. A low-quality or clogged air filter allows dust, dirt, and debris to enter the turbocharger, which can damage the delicate turbine blades and reduce performance. Over time, this can lead to boost leaks, excessive turbo lag, and even premature turbo failure. And here's the thing. Turbocharged engines pull in a lot more air than naturally aspirated ones, which means the air filter gets dirty much faster. If you neglect replacing it, airflow gets restricted, making the turbo work harder to suck in air, leading to higher intake temperatures, reduced efficiency, and worse fuel economy. To keep your turbo in top shape, always use a high-quality OEM spec or performance air filter and replace it at least every 10,000 to 15,000 miles, or more often if you drive in dusty conditions. A few bucks on a good air filter can save you thousands in turbo repairs. Number 4. Do not ignore boost leaks. If you're ignoring boost leaks, you might as well be throwing away horsepower and money. A boost leak happens when pressurized air escapes before it reaches the engine, making your turbo work harder while delivering less power. The worst part? Many people don't even realize they have a boost leak because the car still runs. But trust me, your engine is suffering. Signs of a boost leak include sluggish acceleration, excessive turbo lag, poor fuel economy, and even black smoke from the exhaust due to an improper air-fuel ratio. These leaks can happen in several places: loose or cracked intercooler pipes, worn-out couplers, or even failing intake manifold gaskets. If left unchecked, your engine will struggle to compensate, leading to higher exhaust temperatures, extra strain on the turbo, and possible long-term engine damage. The fix? Regularly inspect all intercooler pipes, clamps, vacuum lines, and couplers. If you suspect a leak, a simple boost leak test using soapy water or a smoke tester can help you find the culprit before it turns into repair. Number 5. Do not let carbon deposits build up. The carbon buildup is your silent enemy, and ignoring it can kill your performance over time. Turbocharged engines, especially those with direct fuel injection, are prone to carbon deposits forming on intake valves, turbo vanes, and exhaust components. Why does this happen? Unlike older engines where fuel would wash over the intake valves and keep them clean, direct injection sprays fuel directly into the cylinders, leaving the intake valves dry and allowing carbon to bake onto them. Over time, this buildup restricts airflow, causes misfires, increases fuel consumption, and even leads to rough idling or hesitation when accelerating. In extreme cases, it can even clog turbo vanes, affecting boost control and causing erratic turbo performance. The solution? Use top-tier fuel with detergents, perform regular intake valve cleaning, and consider a catch can system to reduce oil vapors entering the intake. Some manufacturers recommend walnut blasting every 50,000 to 70,000 miles to remove stubborn deposits. If your turbocharged car is feeling sluggish or unresponsive, carbon buildup could be the hidden culprit. Number 6. Do not tune or modify the turbo without proper supporting mods. Thinking about turning up the boost on your turbocharged car? Hold up, because doing it the wrong way can destroy your engine in no time. A lot of people jump into turbo tuning, thinking they can just slap on a bigger turbo, crank up the boost pressure, or install an aggressive ECU tune for instant horsepower gains. But here's the reality. If you don't have the proper supporting modifications, you're asking for trouble. Boosting a stock engine beyond its designed limits can cause detonation knocking, overheating, fuel starvation, and even catastrophic engine failure. Why? Because your fuel system, intercooler, cooling system, and even the stock internals might not be able to handle the extra stress. Running more boost without upgrading the fuel injectors, fuel pump, high-flow intercooler, and stronger pistons or connecting rods can lead to lean air-fuel ratios, heat soak, and cracked engine components. And don't forget, the transmission extra power means extra strain, and if your clutch or automatic transmission isn't built for the added torque, you're in for expensive repairs. If you want more power the right way, invest in a proper stage-by-stage upgrade plan, get a reliable tune from a professional, and make sure all supporting mods are in place before pushing the limits. Number 7. Do not drive with a clogged or restricted catalytic converter. The catalytic converter is responsible for reducing harmful emissions, but over time, it can get clogged with carbon deposits, oil residue, or unburnt fuel, especially in turbocharged engines that run rich or burn oil. A restricted catalytic converter creates excessive back pressure, which means your turbo has to work harder just to push air through the exhaust system. What happens next? You'll notice sluggish acceleration, loss of power, increased turbo lag, overheating issues, and even a glowing red-hot catalytic converter in extreme cases. In some cases, the excessive heat can damage the turbo itself, leading to costly repairs. If you smell a rotten egg or sulfur-like odor, hear a rattling noise, or your engine feels choked at high RPMs, your catalytic converter might be partially blocked or failing. Ignoring this issue can lead to exhaust leaks, reduced fuel economy, or even complete engine shutdown if the restriction becomes severe. The fix? Regularly inspect your catalytic converter, especially if you notice a drop in performance, and use high-quality fuel to reduce carbon buildup. If your cat is completely clogged, a professional cleaning or replacement is your best bet. Number 8. Do not use low-octane fuel in a turbocharged engine. Turbocharged engines are designed to run on premium high-octane fuel, usually 91 or 93 octane, because they operate at higher compression and boost pressure. Using 87 or 89 octane might seem fine at first, but it increases the risk of engine knocking, which can cause piston damage, turbo overheating, and long-term engine wear. Why does this happen? Low-octane fuel ignites too early under high pressure, which disrupts the controlled combustion process, creating harmful shock waves inside the cylinders. Over time, this can lead to blown head gaskets, damaged piston rings, and even a completely destroyed engine. Some modern turbocharged cars have knock sensors that automatically reduce power to prevent damage, but that means you're robbing yourself of the full performance your turbo is meant to deliver. The fix? Always use the octane rating recommended by your car's manufacturer. It's listed on the fuel cap or in the owner's manual. And if you accidentally use low-octane fuel, drive conservatively and avoid heavy acceleration until you can refill with the right fuel. Number 9. Do not ignore turbo heat shielding and cooling system. A turbocharger operates under extreme temperatures, often exceeding 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and without proper heat management, this intense heat can radiate to surrounding components, causing thermal fatigue, premature wear, and even engine bay fires in extreme cases. The heat shielding around your turbo is designed to protect critical engine parts, including nearby hoses, wiring, and intake components. If the shielding is missing, damaged, or improperly installed, excessive heat can lead to melted vacuum lines, brittle gaskets, and even sensor failures. This is particularly dangerous for cars with plastic or rubber intake components, which can warp or crack under prolonged exposure to high temperature. In addition to heat shielding, the cooling system plays a vital role in regulating turbo temperature. Many modern turbos are both oil and water-cooled, meaning they rely on a combination of engine coolant and oil flow to dissipate heat efficiently. Neglecting coolant flushes, using contaminated coolant, or failing to inspect coolant hoses can result in clogged passages, overheating, and turbo failure. If the turbo isn't properly cooled, the oil inside the turbo can coke. To avoid these issues, ensure you regularly inspect heat shields, coolant hoses, and the turbo's cooling passages. If you frequently drive in high-performance conditions or hot climates, consider upgrading to aftermarket thermal blankets, heat wraps, or even an oil cooler for added heat dissipation. Number 10. Do not skip regular turbo inspection. Skipping regular turbo inspections is a guaranteed way to shorten its lifespan and rack up expensive repairs. A turbo spins at speeds of over 200,000 RPM and operates at extreme temperatures, meaning even minor issues can quickly turn into catastrophic failures if left unchecked. Some common signs that your turbo needs attention include whining or screeching noises, excessive turbo lag, blue or black smoke from the exhaust, loss of power, and increased oil consumption. These are all warning signs of worn-out seals, failing bearings, boost leaks, or carbon buildup, all of which can lead to complete turbo failure if ignored. So, what should you inspect regularly? Start with the turbo's housing, looking for cracks, leaks, or excessive shaft play in the turbocharger itself. Check all vacuum lines, intercooler pipes, and oil feed or return lines for leaks, as a lack of proper lubrication is a leading cause of turbo failure. Also, keep an eye on the condition of your air filter and exhaust system. A clogged air intake or restricted catalytic converter. For high mileage or high performance turbocharged vehicles, consider performing boost leak tests and oil analysis to detect problems early. A small investment in regular inspections can prevent thousands in repair costs down the road. If you ignore turbo maintenance, you could end up with a seized turbo, engine damage, or worse, a completely undrivable car. That's all for today. If you found these tips helpful, then do not forget to like, subscribe, and share the video with your friends.